Welcome back, friends. Today I will be explaining you about the remaining two fundamental physical quantities, that is mass and time. Okay. First I will talk about mass. Now there is an international bureau of weights and measurements, okay, which decides the standards for measuring mass or length or time. Now this bureau has taken a mass, an alloy of platinum and iridium, okay, and they have taken that alloy as standard for measuring 1 kg. Standard for measuring what? 1 kg. And it is carefully preserved in a glass box, okay, so that its mass will never change. But it was observed by scientists that the mass of the platinum iridium alloy changed gradually because of dust or because of atmospheric conditions. So that scientists have decided not to consider that alloy as standard for measuring mass of 1 kg. Okay. Now scientists have come on another idea, and that is based on electric current. In simple words, I am telling you, when you pass electric current through an electromagnet, what happens? The electromagnet gets magnetized and it attracts pieces of iron towards it. Okay. Now imagine there is an electromagnet through which we pass current. On passing current, the iron will get attracted towards it. It will get pulled in upward direction. Now 1 kg mass will be defined as the current required to pull the mass by an electromagnet on passing current through it. The amount of current required to pull a mass of 1 kg by an electromagnet is taken as the standard for measuring mass. Now molecular and atomic level, the masses are measured in a different manner. Okay, here also one standard is taken, and scientists have taken standard as the carbon atom. Carbon C12 isotope is taken as standard, okay, for comparing with all other quantities. So if I take suppose mass of oxygen, I will compare with 1/12 mass of unexcited carbon atom. Unexcited means what? Atoms may be in excited state or unexcited state. When atoms are exposed to heat or light, the electrons in those atoms get excited and go to upper shells. That we'll learn in the 12th standard. Whatever is the idea of excited atom or unexcited atom. So in a carbon atom which is unexcited, okay, if I take 1/12 the mass of carbon atom, that will be compared with, that will be taken as what? Standard, as standard, and it is called as 1 AMU. It is called as what? 1 AMU. Okay, it is called atomic mass unit. So 1 AMU is nothing but the 1/12 of the mass of C12 unexcited carbon atom. I repeat, 1 AMU is nothing but 1/12 the mass of one carbon atom. Which carbon atom? It is unexcited carbon atom. Okay, and you'll ask me, what is value of 1 AMU equal to in kg? It is around 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg. How much? 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg. That's the mass of what? 1 AMU. Okay, atomic mass unit. So lower, very small units like mass of atom or molecule is measured in AMU, atomic mass unit. Now let's talk about the concept of time. Now time in larger duration we measure in what? Days, months, years. Okay. Now in simple words, what is meant by 1 day? 1 solar day. The time between 1 noon of the day to the noon of the other day, second day, that total time is called as 1 day. Okay, it's an average 1 day from 1 noon to the other noon. That is an average 1 day. Understanding? Now the total we can say duration of one day is 24 hours, okay, and duration of year is approximately 365 days. These are larger what can say quantities in time. Small quantities are measured in milliseconds, microseconds, or even nanoseconds. Okay. Now, every country has got one standard time, international standard time, or Indian standard time. You must have heard Indian standard time, IST बोलते हो. Now, how this Indian standard time works? Actually, they make use of a clock, special clock called as atomic clock. What? Atomic clock. In this atomic clock, there is an element called cesium. What? Cesium. And in this cesium atom, the cesium atom is in excited state, and the electrons in the cesium atom jump from higher levels to lower levels. Okay, superfine levels. And that is called as transitions. 919 crore transitions of that electron. When they complete, the full value is given in textbook, but approximately I am telling you, when 919 crore transitions occur, 1 second is recorded. Okay, this is how atomic clock works, and you will be surprised to know that atomic clock records perfect time, 100% perfect. It will never delay or it will never go ahead. So all countries have this particular clock called as atomic clock, which records the national standard time. In India, we are having at National Physical Laboratories at New Delhi. This particular clock is based. Okay. So that is about measurement of time. Welcome back, students. Today we'll talk about the very important topic of this chapter, okay, and that is dimensional analysis and dimensions of physical quantities. Now you have to understand first, every physical quantity has got units, okay, and these units can be easily derived if we understand the dimensions of a physical quantity. Now, what are dimensions actually? Now you know that a physical quantity, okay, are of two types. Physical quantities are of two types. One which are called as fundamental physical quantities, and others are called as derived physical quantities. In order to find the units of derived physical quantities, we have to understand the dimensions of those physical quantities, okay, and once you know the dimensions, you can easily write the units of the physical quantity. Okay. Now, let's first of all understand what are dimensions. Okay. So, dimensions are the powers to which the fundamental units are raised in order to derive the units of a given physical quantity. Suppose you want to derive the units of acceleration. Okay, I don't know the units of acceleration, but acceleration depends on velocity and time. If I know dimensions of velocity, if I know dimensions of time, okay, I'll put them in the formula and I will be able to get the dimensions of acceleration. Okay, now once again I am repeating, what is the meaning of what? Dimensions or dimensional analysis. First I will explain you what are dimensions. Dimensions are the powers to which the fundamental units are raised. I told you what are fundamental. The 7 quantities and their units. Fundamental quantities and their units. Length, mass, time, temperature, okay, electric current, luminous intensity, and last is what? Amount of substance. These 7 are the fundamental physical quantities, okay, and they have their own units, right? That also you remember. The powers to which these fundamental quantities are raised so as to obtain the units of a given physical quantity. That is called as dimensional analysis. Now to understand better, I will explain it on the board and you will easily understand it. Okay, so look at the board. This is the definition of dimensions. Dimensions of a physical quantity, quantities are the powers to which fundamental physical units are raised in order to obtain the unit of a physical quantity. Okay, that is the general definition. Many of you may not understand this. Sir, what is given here? You will not understand this. So I will explain you step by step. First now I will explain you how we get dimensions of a given quantity. Look at here. Okay. You can see clearly here what I have mentioned here. First, I am talking about area. First, look at the formula for area. Area is given by length into breadth. Now, if I want to find dimensions of area, I will put them in a square bracket. Dimension of area will be dimension of length, and the breadth. Although we call it breadth, but it is nothing but the length on the other side. So, length, dimension of length into dimension of length. Now, length is a fundamental physical quantity. So, the symbol of length I will write L into L, which becomes L square. Does this depend on mass, time? No. So dimensions or the powers of mass and time will be 0. Okay. And so the final dimensions which I'll get is L raised to 2 M0 T0. Okay. These dimensions I'll get for area. And from this I will derive the units of area, and that will be L raised to 2. Units of length is meter. So simply meter square. This is a unit of what? Area. Units of area is meter square. Now the second example you understand. Okay. This is also very easy to understand. I am talking about velocity. Now velocity is displacement upon time. Okay. So dimension of velocity will be dimension of displacement upon dimension of time. Now dimension of displacement, that is length, is L, and dimension of time. Time is also a fundamental physical quantity. So T. When you take the T in the numerator, it will become T raised to minus 1. So the final dimension of velocity will be L1 M0 T raised to minus 1. And so the units of velocity will be what? Meter second raised to minus 1, or meter per second. Okay. Meter second raised to minus 1 or meter per second. That will be the unit of what? Velocity. Okay, now let's find the dimension of acceleration. Now acceleration is given by change in velocity upon time. Correct? This is our formula. At least we should know the formula for acceleration. Then only we will be able to find what? Dimensions. Now I want to find the dimensions for acceleration. So it will be depending on velocity, dimensions of velocity upon dimensions of time. Now just now I wrote the dimensions for velocity, and what are the dimensions for velocity? L1 M0 T raised to minus 1 upon T raised to 1. Correct? Time has dimension T raised to 1. So what we get here? Tell me. When you bring T raised to 1 in the numerator, it becomes L1 M0 T raised to minus 2. And so what will you derive? The units of acceleration. L raised to 1. So meter T raised to minus 2. So second raised to minus 2. These are the units of what? Acceleration. So using dimensions we can find the units of a given physical quantity. One more example I am deriving. Please understand this. This I am deriving for force. Okay, force. Now what is the formula for force? Formula for force is given by, very simple. Force is mass into acceleration. Correct? So if you want to find dimensions of force, it should be written in square brackets. So it will be dimension of mass into dimensions of acceleration. What is dimension of mass? Mass itself is a fundamental quantity, so m raised to 1, right? And acceleration, just now I wrote here, L1 M0 T raised to minus 2. When you multiply this, the powers will get added. 1 plus 0 is 1. So final dimension of acceleration L1 M1 T raised to minus 2. So you can tell me now the units of force. It will be kg meter second raised to minus 2. These will be the units of what? Force. And how I obtained? From the dimensions. So in this way, the dimensions can be used for deriving the units of a given physical quantity. And dimensions are nothing but the powers to which the fundamental quantities or the fundamental units are raised. Okay, that's how we understand dimensions. Okay, let's now talk about uses of dimensional analysis. The first application or use of dimensional analysis is to check the correctness of a physical equation. Now, what is physical equation? We have learned about many laws in lower standards. Take an example of the three equations of motions, okay, which were concerned with what Newton's laws of motion. One of them was V equal to U plus AT. V equal to U plus AT, okay. In this equation, we have to check whether the equation is correct or wrong, okay. So you will find the dimensions of the quantity on left hand side and dimensions of any one term on the right hand side. Either you take U or either you take AT. If the dimensions on left hand side and dimensions on the right hand side are equal, are same, then the given equation is 100% correct. Okay, like for on LHS we have got velocity, so I'll find what dimensions of velocity, that is dimension of V. Okay, and we all know dimension for velocity is L1 m0 t raised to minus 1. Okay, this is the dimension of velocity on left hand side. Okay, now on right hand side you can take any one term. U stands for initial velocity. Instead I will take AT. Okay, so on RHS, dimensions for what? Acceleration into dimension of time. Dimension of acceleration into dimension of time, that is dimension of AT I am finding. What? Dimension of AT I am finding. Okay. Now acceleration has got dimensions L raised to 1, m raised to 0, t raised to minus 2. And time has got dimension t raised to 1. Now when you add the powers, minus 2 plus 1 gives you how much? Minus 2 plus 1 will give you how much? Minus 1. So this will become what? L1 m0 t raised to minus 1. T raised to minus 1. Right? Now compare this equation 1 and 2. Equation 1 is L1 m0 t raised to minus 1, and this is also L1 m0 t raised to minus 1. Right? So LHS is equal to RHS, and so equation is correct. The given equation is what? Is correct. Okay. In this way, we can verify the particular physical equation whether it's correct or whether it's wrong. Okay. Okay. The second use we talk about dimensional analysis is to understand or to establish the relation between related physical quantities. Okay, related physical quantities. I want to find the relation between related physical quantities. I will take example of kinetic energy. Okay. Now I know kinetic energy depends on what? Is directly proportional to mass and velocity. Forgot the formula. Remember the formula for kinetic energy? Half mv square, right? But suppose I don't know when it's half m square v square or m raised to 3 v raised to 3 or mv cube. I don't know. Suppose I only know that it is directly proportional to mass and directly proportional to velocity. So I want to get the correct relation between kinetic energy, mass and velocity. Okay. So what will I do? I will write, let the energy, kinetic energy, Ek I will write, okay, be directly proportional to m raised to a, and energy, kinetic energy is directly proportional to v raised to b. Okay. Therefore, I will write Ek is directly proportional to m raised to a and v raised to b. Okay. Or I will write Ek equal to a constant into m raised to a and v raised to b. Is it okay? I know only the relation that it is direct proportional to mass and direct proportional to velocity, but I don't know the powers. So using dimensional analysis, I can find the powers. Okay. Now I will take a constant of proportionality called as k. Okay. So this will be k into m raised to a into v raised to b. Okay. Now dimensions, I will find now dimensions on left hand side as well as on right hand side. Okay, dimensions on left hand side and dimensions on right hand side. First of all, I will write here dimensions of energy, okay, equal to constant k into dimensions of mass raised to a into dimensions of velocity raised to b. Right? Now what is dimensions of energy? Any idea? It is L2 m1 t raised to minus 2. Okay? This will derive. That's a homework which you can easily derive. L2 m1 t raised to minus 2 equal to k m raised to mass है m1 raised to a, तो m raised to a, and velocity is given by what? L1, that will be multiplied by b, so lb and t raised to minus b. When you multiply this, you get this m raised to a, l raised to b, t raised to minus b. Getting it? Understanding? M raised to a, l raised to b, t raised to minus b. Now what we do? Okay, we equate the dimensions, compare the dimensions, comparing the dimension on both the sides. Means dimension of L and dimension of L, we compare. Dimension of T and dimension of T, dimension of M and dimension of M. What you get? Okay, you get A equal to 1 and B equal to 2. What we get is A equal to 1 and B equal to 2. देखो ना, M का पावर A है तो M का पावर यहाँ पे 1 है, L का पावर B है तो L का पावर 2 है, तो B will be equal to 2, A will be equal to 1. So I get these powers, A equal to 1 and B equal to 2. Once I get the powers, I can now substitute in the equation this equation. Okay, therefore Ek is constant into m raised to 1 and v raised to 2. That is constant k into m v square, which is 100% correct. By performing experiments, further we get the value of k. By experiments, we get the value of k, and finally the equation becomes half m v square. Okay. So in this way, we are able to determine the relation between the related physical quantities. Here I found out the powers of mass and powers of velocity by using dimensional analysis. The third application or third use of dimension analysis is very important. Here you have to find the conversion factor between units of same physical quantity but in two different systems. As I have already told you, there are four different systems. Okay, MK system, CGS system, FPS system and SI system. Okay, now there is always a relation between the different systems for a given physical quantity. Like example, when I say 1 kilometer is how many meters, you easily tell 1000 meters. 1 meter is how much centimeters? You tell 100 centimeter. 1 meter is 100 centimeter, right? So this 1 meter is 100 centimeter. That 100 is the conversion factor, which helps us to convert from SI system to CGS system. Now suppose I know the units of force in the two different systems. In SI system, force is measured in Newton, and in CGS system, it is measured in dyne. But I don't know the relation between Newton and dyne. So I write 1 Newton equal to X dyne. Okay. Now I repeat here, Newton is a unit in SI system and dyne is unit in what? CGS system. Right. Now I will I'll write the dimensions of force in SI system and in CGS system in the same formula which I have written here, but I will take different suffix. Okay. For SI system, I will write M1, L1, T1. Okay. And for this CGS, I will write M2, L2, T2 and write the dimensions. So dimension of force is M1 L1 T raised to minus 2. But since this is for SI system, I'll write M1 here suffix 1 and here I'll write X. Dimensions are same, only the suffix will change. Dimensions are M1 L1 T raised to minus 2, but the suffix will be what? 2, 2, 2. Getting it? Now further what will I write? I will write X here and the other terms on the other side. So I'll write X equal to M1 raised to 1, L1 raised to 1, T1 raised to minus 2 divided by M2 raised to 1, L2 raised to 1, T2 raised to minus 2. Okay. Or I can write this each term together like M1 upon M2 raised to 1, L1 upon L2 raised to 1 and T1 upon T2 raised to minus 2. Okay. In this way I can write the dimensions. Okay. These are ratios in which the upper one is a SI system and lower one is a CGS system. Now think carefully, and we all know the units of mass, length and time in SI system as well as in CGS system. So those systems now I will write. I'm writing this once again for your understanding. X equal to, look at the board and understand this. I'm writing once again, repeating this. M1 upon M2 raised to 1, L1 upon L2 raised to 1 and T1 upon T2 raised to minus 2. Now I will substitute the units of mass in SI system. In SI system it is what? 1 meter. Sorry, mass is written in what? kg. kg, and in CGS it is gram raised to 1. Length is meter and centimeter raised to 1, and time is what? Seconds. It will not change, raised to minus 2. Right? Now this will get cancelled. Here kg I write in grams. So 10 raised to 3 gram upon gram raised to 1 Meter is what? 1 meter is 100 centimeter. So 10 raised to 2 centimeter upon centimeter raised to 1, and this is 1 raised to minus 2. 1 raised to minus 2 is 1. This centimeter gets cancelled, gram gets cancelled. What remains? 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to 2, that is 10 raised to 5. I got the value of x as 10 raised to 5. Getting it? That means the conversion factor between 1 Newton and dyne is 1 Newton is 10 raised to 5 dyne. Okay? This is our relation. And this I obtained by using what? The dimensional analysis. Okay? Once again have a look at it. First of all, I write x as the conversion factor between units of SI system and units of CGS system. And then I will take different symbols for dimensions of what force in SI system. For SI system, I'll take M1, L1, T1. So the dimension will be M1 raised to 1, L1 raised to 1, T1 raised to minus 2. And for dimensions in CGS system, it will be M2 raised to 1, L2 raised to 1, T2 raised to minus 2. And then it's simple maths. X will be further written as M1 by M2 raised to 1, L1 by L2 raised to 1, T1 by T2 raised to minus 2. Now further what we'll do, we'll substitute the units of SI system. So it will be kg, and in CGS system gram, meter and centimeter and seconds. Kg will be written as 10 raised to 3 grams, meter will be written as 10 raised to 2 centimeter, and this will get cancelled, and what remains is simply 10 raised to 5. So value of x you get 10 raised to 5, and that leads to one conclusion that 1 Newton is 10 raised to 5 dynes. Okay, so that's our final answer.